Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here today to talk about the benefits and uses of daylilies. Now this is specifically daylilies, not just any lily, so you got to understand that because some lilies can be toxic. But your daylilies are edible. In fact, the leaves, even the rhizomes are edible and usable medicinally as well as just culinary, which is the most common way they do get used, but they do have health and medicinal benefits as well. And I'm hoping by the time you see this video isn't too late in the season for you to start using those daylilies, but even if not, you'll know what to do with them next year. Now, a lot of people grow daylilies just because they're beautiful and they're easy to grow and they're just a way to add pops of color to your garden. However, it's also good to know that there's ways that you can use them. So if you're wanting to leave them out there for their beauty, as you know, daylilies, they're called that because the flowers only last for a day. Well, what I do now is I leave them out there for the day, and then in the evening, late afternoon, evening, I go pick them before they start to wilt, because the next morning they're totally wilted and pretty much useless. But if you eat them when they're fresh, they're delicious. And yes, you can also use the flower buds. You don't have to wait for them to open. I just like to wait for them to open because I get a chance to enjoy their beauty for a day and then take them off of there and use them in something, or just mostly what I do is just eat them right away or add them to a salad. But first, before I go more about their uses, let's talk about the nutrients and their benefits. So surprisingly, they have a considerable amount of protein, which kind of surprised me for a flower, as well as phosphorus, calcium, potassium, iron, vitamins A, C, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. So quite a few B vitamins in there as well. And as I mentioned, the parts that are used would be the leaves, the flowers, and the roots. And some of the benefits / medicinal uses would be that they can be used as a mild laxative, diuretic, an antispasmodic. I'm talking about the flowers specifically right now. It helps to lower fevers. It is a mild sedative. And an anodyne, which means instead of an analgesic is a painkiller, where anodyne is something that eases the pain. So it will take the sharpness off pain. It's also antiemetic, which means it helps reduce nausea and vomiting. It's naturally antioxidant and highly detoxifying to the whole body, specifically to the blood, but really the whole body. I mean, it makes sense because the blood goes all the way through your body. As far as the root or the rhizomes, they're a good vermifuge, which means they're great at killing intestinal parasites, helping with jaundice, constipation. It helps to cure pneumonia, cancer, and the boiled roots can be used as an antidote for arsenic poisoning. I think it's the juicing of the roots or the tea that they make off of it. I can't remember which, but either way, you're, an antidote for arsenic poisoning. All right, let's talk about the uses. So again, I mentioned the flowers and the roots, and the leaves are useful, but the leaves, you're going to want to use them when they're pretty young and tender. Otherwise, they can get too stringy, fibrous, and tough when they're bigger. So picking the leaves when they're young, you can stir fry them and use them as a vegetable and just about anything. I haven't tried the leaves yet, but it is said that they can taste quite a bit like asparagus, which I believe would probably be very similar to your hostas, because you can do the same thing with your hostas. And then the flowers, boy, there's so many things you can do with the flowers. So raw or cooked. Again, mostly I've eaten them raw by adding to salads or just eating them right off the plant. And boy, they're so good in salads. Like the base of each petal is very crispy, and that's where most of the flavor is. And it's a little thicker. So anyway, I love it. But last night I decided, now that I'm finally getting a little more flowers than I normally get, I'm going to start every day going out and picking them and using them in a meal of some kind. So last night I was making, I have a recipe video out on this. I was making the sausage, cabbage, potato, whatever you want to call it, one dish meal. And then I remembered the lilies and how I'm going to start using them every day instead of just eating them fresh. And plus there were several out there. So I picked those and then added them to the top of that one dish meal and then baked them up, and that was really good, and it added some color to the meal as well. What I really want to do next is stir frying as a vegetable or in with other things that I'm stir frying. So that can be adding to noodles, rice, or just a stir-fry vegetable dish altogether. So I'm thinking of adding them to my snow peas and onions and garlic, and then having a nice little side dish like that. All the rest of the food-related pictures you're going to see from this point are going to be ones I gathered from the internet to give you some more ideas, since I haven't done any of this stuff yet, but I plan to do at least some of it. Some people like to stuff the flowers with various things, either raw or cooked, where you can bake them or just eat it raw. Like I've done that with nasturtium flowers. I'll make some kind of salmon filling like you would do with tuna fish, and if I'm not making a sandwich out of it, I sometimes will stuff the nasturtium flowers with that. You could do the same thing, same idea with your daylilies. Some people like to, and this one I really want to try too, some people will bread them and then fry them. Some people will make jelly out of them. It makes a very beautiful jelly. I would think the pink ones are probably where you're getting most of that color, but the orange too. Some people will pickle them. And you can also dehydrate them up and powder them and use them to thicken soups, stews, and whatever. And I probably won't use them that way because I like them so much. I have many other things I could use for thickening. And any dried powdered good will thicken your soups and sauces anyway. And so, I find that with zucchini, tomato powder, whatever kind of sauce I'm making, those are great things to use those powders in for thickening. Of course, my chickens are coming out of the woodwork and making lots of noise, so please forgive me, but just consider it part of the ambiance of the area. I like shooting videos outside when I can. And then the tubers themselves can be used raw or cooked. So I read that, I haven't tried them, I read that they have kind of a nutty flavor. So I think that would be interesting. I wonder if that would be something that would be similar to like your Jerusalem artichokes or other such. So maybe one of these days I'll give those a try. So anyway, there's some ideas right there. And again, I'll give you some updates down the road, most likely in my this and that videos of various ways that I'm using the daylilies as I go through the rest of the season. I've been growing them for years. It's because I keep having to move them around. It's taken me a while to get to a point where I'm actually getting a steady amount of flowers coming in where I could do more with them. So this is an exciting year and a perfect time for me to shoot this video and to remind me about those and start doing new things with them. So please share with us down below if you're already growing daylilies and using them for various things, making jellies, desserts, dinners, sautés, whatever it is you're doing with them, or breading and frying them. That's Gertie out there being very noisy. She's right on the other side of the gate. Then please share this down below, your ideas, and even if you have a recipe you can throw out there real quick. People love to learn from you as well. It's just kind of fun being able to take things that you grow specifically for beauty and then also utilizing them in another way. This is why I did a video, by the way, a while back on why preppers should grow flowers. So if you're into preparedness and having a garden, there's a lot of flowers you can grow that are good medicinally and for food, including your nasturtiums, calendula, roses. Oh, so many flowers out there that you can use. Pansies too. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.